So how did the ultra go? Well, not as planned. I think that's the only way I can really put it. Started off well, didn't shoot off like a thunderbolt in the beginning like I did last year. Really paid for that last year. But I really kind of hit the wall in around 15, 16 miles and held on to it for quite a while. And I'd say in and around 25 miles or so, my Achilles and my right leg started to get quite painful, and I started to kind of doubt whether I was actually going to finish it or not at that stage. So I kept going anyway, and kind of as last year, it really was one of the most leveling and kind of most humbling experiences I've gone through. Like, I was running along at one point, I was talking to these two guys, and one of them was from Liverpool and the other guy was from the Northern Ireland, and two guys were like pushing 60, chatting away, having a chat as they're running, and they're kind of saying like, oh, have you done many marathons before? And I was like, no, not really. I did an ultramarathon last year. And then I asked him the same question. He was like, yeah, I've done 450, whatever it was, marathons. And he asked, was I here at this last year? And I said I was. And he said, oh, well, I couldn't be at this one last year because I was doing 10 marathons in 10 days. And I'm really starting to get that it's all just a game. You start off and you're like, yeah, well, I started off and I was like, I'm going to do really well. I'm going to knock this out in 6 hours. Off I went. And then as the time goes along and the mileage kicks up, it's just a pure battle of wills. And it doesn't matter what age you are, it doesn't matter how fit you are. Obviously, the more you've done these things, the better, but it's a real personal game. Like, there's 22 people that signed up for this, and of the 22 that signed up, there was only 17 that finished. And I remember getting to a point, I think it was heading up for around 6 hours, and I was really there thinking, I should have done more training, should be running faster, should be more prepared. And then I really just got present to the fact that here I was out on a Sunday running a 40-mile race. It was a nice day out, sun was shining here and there, wasn't too hot, and I was using the food drops and I was drinking water and I was looking after myself as I went around. And the comparison between that and last year was last year I was completely winging it. Like, completely winging it. But anyway, in and around the 6 hours mark, I really got to see that it was like, okay, my goal of 6 hours is just gone out the window. So what's the goal here? The goal here is to finish, because it was a long day out. Like the guy that I do a bit of running with, Brian, he won the race. Like, he finished in, I think it was 5 hours 7 minutes. And I really got that, like, he put the work in, really put the work in, and won this year. And then this year I finished in 7 hours 50 minutes, something like that. So I took 10 minutes out of my time from last year. And I was quite disappointed, to be honest with you, like, that I didn't do better and all this sort of stuff. But then I realised that I finished last year. I finished last year. And this year I finished 16th out of 17 runners who actually finished the 40-mile race. And it's a big accomplishment. There's not a lot of people out there running 40-mile races. So for me, I really got to see that being in that group of people who do that, regardless of where I came in it, yes, I would like to have won, but I didn't put the work in to have done that. So to have completed that race was a big thing for me. And it's really kind of just changed how I see myself as well. And then, like, my friend came back out at the end. He kind of came in the last couple of miles with me. I'd love to say I was running them really fast, but to be honest with you, walked the last couple of miles in and got to the finish line and was really just happy to have completed it. But then the difference between last year and this year is that I wasn't completely wrecked afterwards. I was tired, but I was back at work. Like I took the Monday off and I was back in work on Tuesday. Last year, I probably suffered for a good month afterwards. You know, I was dehydrated, just wasn't fully functioning. But this year, I got to go out, run a 40-mile marathon on a Sunday. Took the Monday off for rest. Went back to work on Tuesday. Yeah, I was a bit sore, a bit tender. Here we are, a week later. No big deal.